1885, Czar Alexander III landed on the perfect Easter gift for his wife, Empress Maria Feodorovna. A bespoke egg commission from Peter Carl Fabergé, a master goldsmith of the jewelry company House of Fabergé. The hen egg was a simple white enamel egg that twisted apart to reveal a golden yolk. The yolk opened to show a golden hen, and in the hen was a diamond crown and a tiny ruby pendant. The materials were costly, but the magical surprise was priceless. The empress was so delighted that the Tsar gave a royal order to the House of Fabergé, and from that year forward the opulent eggs were made for the Russian court every Easter. His son, Nicholas II, continued the tradition, giving one egg to his mother and one to his wife Alexandra every year, each more elaborate than the last. The Fabergé eggs are world-renowned today, synonymous with the Romanovs' lavish lifestyle, but at the time hardly anyone outside the royal court knew they existed. During the Bolsheviks' February Revolution, the eggs were taken from the palace and carefully packed and stashed at the Kremlin in Moscow. The Russian government later sold many of them when it ran low on funds. Although there are believed to be close to 70 eggs created, today only 46 imperial eggs and 11 other eggs are known to survive. In today's video, we are going to look at 10 beautifully crafted Fabergé eggs and understand why they are special and expensive. So, let's begin. The standard yod egg is a jeweled Easter egg made for Tsar Nicholas II of Russia in 1909. It was presented by Nicholas II as an Easter gift to his wife, the Tsarina Alexandra Feodorovna. It is a transparent hollowed-out rock crystal egg, mounted horizontally, with a gold band with inlaid leaves of green enamel and small diamonds, marking the separation point between upper and lower halves, which bears the inscription, Standard 1909. The standard was commissioned by Czar Alexander III in Copenhagen. It was launched in 1895 and was 116 meters long, which made it the largest yacht in the world at that time. The standard yacht egg is currently held in the Kremlin Armory Museum in Moscow, and it is one of the few Fabergé eggs that have never left Russia. The ninth on our list is Peter the Great egg, made in 1903 by Fabergé. Made in the Rococo style, the Peter the Great egg celebrated the 200th anniversary of the founding of St. Petersburg in 1703. It is made of red, green and yellow gold, platinum, rose-cut diamonds, rubies, enamel, rock crystal, and miniature watercolor portraits on ivory. The eggshell features 4 miniature watercolors painted by B. Bieltz. The paintings representing the before and after of St. Petersburg in 1703 and 1903. The front painting features the extravagant Winter Palace, the official residence of Nicholas II, 200 years after the founding of St. Petersburg. Opposite this, on the back of the egg, is a painting of the log cabin believed to be built by Peter the Great himself, representative of the founding of St. Petersburg on the banks of the Neva River. The surprise is that when the egg is opened, a mechanism within raises a miniature gold model of Peter the Great's monument on the Neva, resting on a base of sapphire. The model was made by Georgy Milichevin. The reason for this choice of surprise is the story of a legend from the 19th century that says enemy forces will never take St. Petersburg, while the bronze horseman stands in the middle of the city. The Peter the Great egg was sold in 1930 to Armand Hammer, an American entrepreneur who had business interests in Russia. It was later bought by Olivier Roussy, New York City. In 1944 it was purchased by Lillian Pratt of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and bequeathed to the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts in 1947. It remains on permanent view in their European decorative art collection. The 8th on our list is the Gatchina Palace egg. It is a jeweled, enameled Easter egg made in 1901. Nicholas II presented it to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorovna, at Easter in 1901. The egg opens to reveal a surprise miniature gold replica of the palace at Gatchina, a town south of St. Petersburg, that was built for Count Grigory Orlov and was later acquired by Tsar Paul I. The egg was created by Fabergé's workmaster, Mikhail Lampovich Perkin, and the detail of the Gatchina Palace egg is stunning. At a mere 3 inches tall, the cannons, windows, trees, and flag of the palace are clearly distinguishable. The exterior of the egg is skillfully crafted of gold, enamel, silver gilt, diamonds, rock crystal, and seed pearls. These precious materials are individually treasured, but using them together to create a single object makes them priceless. However, what makes the Fabergé egg so valuable is not the monetary price of the materials, but the skill and mastery of craftsmanship used to create it. In 1920, the egg was in the possession of Alexander Polovtsov, who was a former employee at the Gatchina Palace and later started an antique shop in Paris. It is not known how Mr. Polovtsov acquired the egg. In 1930, this egg was sold, along with the 1907 rose trellis egg, to American Henry Walters and became a part of the Walters Art Museum collection in 1931. In 1936, the egg was exhibited with the rose trellis egg at the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore, Maryland, and it has been on permanent display since 1952. Before the fall, he celebrated the 15th anniversary of his rule. Fabergé would commemorate this historic moment with a distinctive egg ever. If there is one Imperial Easter gift that definitively demonstrates a close link between Fabergé and the Tsar, it is the 15th anniversary egg. Presented to Alexandra in 1911, it celebrates Nicholas II's decade and a half on the throne. The egg is made of gold, green and white enamel, decorated with diamonds and rock crystal. The surface is divided into 18 panels set with 16 miniatures. The miniatures are painted on ivory by artist Vasilis Ayeb from photographs and drawings of the time. Among the 9 views of places and events associated with Nicholas's reign are the coronation procession, the coronation ceremony, the opening of the State Duma, a legislative body, the Alexander III Bridge in Paris, and the canonization of Saint Seraphine, to whom Alexandra prayed for a son. The egg's incredibly detailed artwork is all the more impressive when one realizes that these panels are each less than 2 inches across. The egg is evidence that Nicholas has much to celebrate in 1911. There is no surprise in the egg, contrary to the Tsar's explicit instructions with regard to these eggs, and without explanation, apparently, none was ever made. It was owned by Malcolm Forbes in the Forbes collection. Victor Vekselberg purchased 9 imperial eggs as part of the collection for almost $100 million. It is estimated that the individual egg costs $10 million to $15 million. The egg is now part of the Victor Vekselberg collection, owned by the Link of Times Foundation and housed in the Fabergé Museum in St. Petersburg, Russia. The third imperial egg is an Easter Fabergé egg created in the workshop of Peter Carl Fabergé for the Russian Czar Alexander III and presented to his wife, Maria Feodorovna, on Orthodox Easter of 1887. The egg was created in Louis XVI style, and it consists of a solid 18K gold-reeded case resting on a gold annulus ring with waveform decorations, held up by 3 sets of corbel-like legs which end in lion's paws. Joining these legs are festoons of roses and leaves made in a variety of colored gold alloys and joined in the middle of each side by matching oval cabochon sapphires. Above each sapphire is a gold bow decorated with a series of tiny diamonds, and the front of the egg has a single much larger diamond in an old mine diamond clasp, which when pressed, releases the egg's lid to reveal its surprise. The egg was lost for many years but was rediscovered in 2012. The rediscovery of this egg was announced publicly and covered in many news stories in 2014. Scrap metal find turns out to be $33 million Fabergé golden egg, as the title on the news article, and a holy grail of art and antiques found. Wartsky bought the egg on behalf of a Fabergé collector who allowed the firm to exhibit the piece for the first time in 112 years in April 2014. As evidence of its journey, the egg has several scratches on it where the metal was tested for its gold content by prospective buyers. The new buyer thought they enhanced the piece because they are part of its history. Perhaps the most sumptuous Easter gift ever given is the winter Easter egg. Presented by Tsar Nicholas II to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorovna in 1913, the exquisite Fabergé winter egg was the rarest and most expensive produced by the imperial jeweler. The egg is made of transparent rock crystal delicately engraved on the inside to recreate the effect of ice crystals, and contains a surprise. Its exterior is encrusted with 3,000 diamonds set in platinum, and the whole thing rests on a detachable rock crystal base, carved to represent a block of melting ice, set with rose diamond rivulets. Inside, the hidden surprise is a delicate trellis work basket fashioned in platinum and filled with a tiny bouquet of flowers carved from white quartz and set with green garnet hearts. The winter theme for the jeweled gift came from Fabergé designer Alma Pill. She had been inspired by the sight of sunlight shining through the frosty windows of the workshop for a series of pieces undertaken immediately prior to the Imperial Egg Commission. The egg left Russia after the revolution and ended up in the collection of Mr. Brian Ledbrook. It was first sold at auction in 1994 at Christie's in Geneva for $5.6 million, the world record at that time for a Fabergé item sold at auction. The egg sold for $9.6 million in an auction at Christie's in New York City in 2002. It was reported that the buyer was Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar. The current value of the winter egg on the market was estimated to be $60 million way back in 2017. The 12 monograms egg, also known as the Alexander III portrait's egg, is an Easter egg made under the supervision of the Russian jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé in 1896 for Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. It was presented by Nicholas II to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorovna. The egg was the second Fabergé egg ever given by Nicholas II to his mother as an Easter present. This egg is one of 4 commemorating Tsar Alexander III. The other 3 are the missing Empire Nephrite, 1902, and Alexander III commemorative, 1909, eggs, and the Alexander III equestrian egg, 1910. An allegedly missing Fabergé egg known from its description as the Alexander III portrait's egg was previously thought to be the Imperial Easter egg from 1895 in the Maria Feodorovna series. However, following the 2012 rediscovery of the 1887 third Imperial egg, which was announced to the world in March 2014, and the reassignment of the Blue Serpent clock egg as the 1895 Imperial Easter egg, it became clear that the missing Imperial Easter egg identified in the series as the Alexander III portrait's egg must be the extant 12 monograms egg of 1896. Currently, the egg is held at the Hillwood Museum in Washington, D.C. And third on our list is the beautiful peacock egg, commissioned in 1908. It is a jewel and rock crystal Easter egg made by Dorofeyev under the supervision of the Russian jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé. The transparent egg is composed of rock crystal and gilt silver wire and is quite simple in style. The genius of the egg lay in its surprise. The egg is held together by a clasp at the top and when opened, falls into 2 halves, each with a Rococo-style mount. Inside the egg sits a small 110mm, 4.3 in, long mechanical gold and enameled peacock in the branches of an engraved gold tree with flowers made of enamel and precious stones. The peacock can be lifted from within the tree and wound up. Placed on a flat surface, it struts around, moving its head and spreads and closes his enamel tail. Dorofeyev, the Fabergé workmaster, reportedly worked on the peacock and its prototypes for 3 years. The peacock egg was inspired by the 18th century peacock clock made by James Cox. The clock was a present from Grigory Potemkin to Catherine the Great. The peacock clock was housed in the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg, Russia, which is now the Hermitage Museum. In 1927, the peacock egg was sold with 9 other imperial eggs by the antiquariat to Emanuel Snowman of Wartsky in London. Bought by Mr. Hearst in 1935, it was sold to Dr. Maurice Sandoz of Switzerland in 1949 and donated in 1955 to his foundation Edouard et Maurice Sandoz in Lausanne, Switzerland. Since its purchase by Sandoz, it has only been seen publicly 6 times, the last time in 2009. The mosaic egg is a jeweled enameled Easter egg. Crafted by Albert Holmstrom under the supervision of Peter Carl Fabergé and is made of yellow gold, platinum, brilliant diamonds, rose-cut diamonds, ruby, emerald, topaz, sapphire, garnet, half pearls, moonstone, white enamel, and opaque pink enamel. It consists of a series of yellow gold belts which are pave set with diamonds and a variety of gems in a floral pattern, providing a look of petite point tapestry work. The pattern of the egg contains 5 oval panels bordered by half pearls set in enamel, with brilliant diamonds placed at each intersection. The technical precision of the design was complemented by platinum that was cut, rather than welded. At the apex of the egg is a moonstone through which can be seen the year 1914 and Empress Alexandra's initials in Russian characters. The surprise is a removable miniature frame with relief profiles of Nicholas and Alexandra's 5 children, in a cameo brooch style. The back of the frame is enameled with a sepia basket of flowers. The floral tapestry pattern was designed by Alma Theresia Pill, who was inspired by needlework fire screens found in aristocratic sitting rooms of the time. Pill was the niece of the egg's workmaster Albert Holmstrom, who came from a family of Finnish jewelers employed by Fabergé. Currently, the mosaic egg remains a part of the royal collection of Queen Elizabeth and was included in a public display from July to October 2011 in the exhibit Royal Fabergé during the summer opening of Buckingham Palace. And first on our list is the Imperial coronation egg, commissioned in 1897 to commemorate Tsarina, Empress Alexandra Feodorovna. The egg is made from gold with translucent lime yellow enamel on a galoche field of starbursts and is in reference to the cloth of gold robe worn by the Tsarina at her coronation. It is trellised with bands of greenish gold laurel leaves mounted at each intersection by a gold imperial double-headed eagle enameled opaque black and set with a rose diamond on its chest. This pattern was also drawn from the coronation robe worn by the Empress. Fitted inside a velvet-lined compartment is a precise replica, less than 4 inches long, of the 18th century imperial coach that carried Tsarina Alexandra to her coronation at Moscow's Uspensky Cathedral. The red color of the original coach was recreated using strawberry-colored translucent enamel, and the blue upholstery of the interior was also reproduced in enamels. The coach is surmounted by the imperial crown in rose diamonds and 6 double-headed eagles on the roof. It is fitted with engraved rock crystal windows and platinum tires, decorated with a diamond-set trellis in gold, and an imperial eagle in diamonds at either door. Missing surprises include an emerald or diamond pendant that hung inside the replica coach, a glass-enclosed jadeite stand for the display of the carriage, as well as a stand made of silver gilt wire. The egg is currently owned by one of the Russian oligarchs, Viktor Vekselberg, and lends it to the Hermitage Museum, specifically the Winter Palace, in St. Petersburg, Russia, where it originally belongs. In 1918, after the death of the Romanovs, the House of Fabergé was nationalized and ransacked by the Bolsheviks. Fabergé and members of his family left Russia on what was to be the last diplomatic train to Riga, not realizing that they would never be able to return to their beloved Russia again. According to author Giza von Habsburg, when Fabergé saw that all was lost, all of the members of the imperial family on Russian soil had been murdered, he decided that was it, his whole world had collapsed, and he fled to Switzerland, where he died in 1920 of, I would say, a broken heart. There were thousands of Fabergé pieces in the palaces of the Romanovs, most now scattered across faraway lands in the many collections around the world now. Of the 50 imperial eggs made, only 10 remain in the Kremlin. 8 imperial eggs are still missing. The excess of the eggs, and their seclusion from the public, reflect the elitist, out-of-touch final years of Tsarist Russia. They may be masterpieces, wrote Faber, but they also embody extravagance that even the Romanovs' most ardent supporter would find hard to justify.